Okay, we're going to get started. Ladies, hello. How are you tonight? So I am Jen Amabile, and I'm so excited to be here and to be talking about this topic, how to be happy being single. And I'm going to make this a little bit interactive. So we had a lot more registrants. So it's maybe actually good that there's only a couple on so we can have more of an interactive exchange during this time. Because I don't want to talk the whole time. I want to hear from you as well. So welcome. I'm so honored to be here and to talk about this topic with you. I am a single woman's life coach who help and support women to create the life of their dreams, to manifest their own happiness, to deal with anxiety and depression. And this topic is so passionate. I'm so passionate about this topic and love talking about it because it's one of the reasons why I became a life coach, because my mission is to assist and support women in shifting their perception on what it means to be single and shifting their perception on all of the misunderstandings and all of the stereotypes that come along with being single. So it's my mission as a coach and as a woman to shift that perception with my clients and with the people that I serve in my community. So it is such an honor to be here to talk about this with you. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for recognizing that you wanted to be here and you're showing up. And I really appreciate that. So I'm not going to talk about my story first. As we go through the talk, I'm going to interject examples from my life so you can get to know me that way instead of me talking about spending a lot of time at the beginning talking about my experience and my journey. I'm going to sort of interject it during each of the points that I talk about during the session. So feel free to write in the chat box if you have any questions. Feel free to stop me at any time and interject, or to, like I said, ask questions. I want this to be interactive. And for those of you who are watching the recording, you can always send me an email if things come up for you and you want to ask a question or you need more clarity on anything. Feel free to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I have notes here, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. So forgive me if it looks like I'm looking away from the camera. But why I chose this topic. So this topic, like I said before, is so near and dear to my heart because I've lived it, and I'm here to tell you that you can be happy and you can enjoy being single. And it breaks my heart to see so many women suffering because of the misconceptions that they have about what it means to be single for them. And it leads to sadness and depression and anxiety and just this overall feeling of dread. And it just really breaks my heart that I see so many women suffering from that. And this is why I want to bring this topic to light and to shine light on it and to just bring awareness around it, and that it doesn't have to be this way. Because the truth is that you are worthy of being happy, and you don't need a man to do that. You don't need a partner to do that. You can do that all on your own. So that is what I hope to show you tonight. And that is one of my goals, is to show you how to take advantage of this time to enjoy being happy as a single woman, and to support you and assist you in letting go of any shame and letting go of any guilt and letting go of any expectations that you may have around that. Because it's so important to let those go in order to invite new things that are going to better support you in your happiness. So we're going to do some fun stuff tonight. So if you have some pen and paper, that would be great. If not, this recording is going to be offered to you, so you have it. But I'm going to give you some exercises to do. You don't have to do them now, but it's good to take notes, and you can do them at a later time. But before we get started, I want to start off with a brief meditation and to just breathe and settle in. So if you can close your eyes And take a few deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And one more, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And I want you to ground and settle into a space of gratitude. So as you keep breathing, settle into gratitude and think about all of the things that you're grateful for in your life, all of the things that make you happy. Focus on those things. And really get into that space of gratitude and joy. The fact that we're sitting here right now and we can interact with one another on a computer. The fact that you even have a device that allows you to do that. The fact that we're breathing, that we can breathe on our own. And I'm sending you all love and support. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So before we begin, and thank you for being in that space of gratitude and just taking a minute to ground and just take a few deep breaths in. It really helps with the process. So before we begin, I want you to consider a few things. And this is just an offering. It's not gospel. It's not the Bible. It's not written in stone. These are just a few things that I want you to consider as we're on this call. And you can take notes and, either agree or disagree with it, but it's just a few things to ponder. So, and it has to do with being single. Perhaps you are single because you have some work to do on yourself, or you have to accomplish something. And if you were in a relationship, that would have distracted you from doing that. What if you let go of the idea that your life would be better if you were in a relationship? Perhaps there's an opportunity waiting for you that you would not have taken if you were in a relationship. And the last one is the reason you are single is because you have to cultivate your desires and really learn to be an incredible partner to yourself first before you can meet the one. So these are just a few things to consider as we go on. And I just want to be clear that I'm not in any way, shape, or form against dating. Absolutely not. In fact, I encourage it. What I am against is when I see women date or try desperately to look for a relationship or look for a dating partner or look to just serial date because they're trying to fulfill a void. They are trying to avoid being lonely. They think that it will make them a better person or somehow make their life better if they are in a committed partnership. So those are the things that concern me when I see women date for those reasons. And so I invite you to look at that. And if you are dating and you are dating for those reasons, kind of take a step back and say, do I really want a relationship from this space? Do I want a relationship to fulfill a void? Do I want a relationship to complete me, as they say? Or do I want a relationship from a place of wholeness where the person is adding to my life and not filling it up to make it complete, if that makes any sense? because I know what I strive for, and I strive to meet that person that's going to teach me a few things and add to my life in a really amazing way. Um, some of my past relationships have been where I am the one trying to teach that person something, or I am the one trying to show this person a different way or heal some wound that they have. And I realize that having relationships from that point of view are never fulfilling, because it always ends up ending in some way that's not really great. Because I feel like it's not equal. It's not coming from an equal place. It's coming from a place of, I need to fix you, or it's trying to recreate a wound from childhood. So they're trying to get that need from you. So you don't want to date from that kind of place. You want to date from a place of wholeness. So, so using this time as a single woman to cultivate all of that and to become the best version of yourself, I think is the best thing that you can do. And I'm going to show you tonight how to do that with joy and how to really be happy with that space. And excuse me 1 minute while I drink some water. Okay, so does anybody have any questions so far? Feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Like I said, I want this to be interactive. Just feel free to write it in the chat box. Okay, all right, so if you have your pen and paper handy, great. So there are two things. First, before we can get into how to be happy being single, there are two things you must do in order to shift into that space. And one of them is, I want you, and I'm giving you permission to have a pity party for yourself. Okay? So I want you to, and I'm giving you a time limit. Okay? The only catch is that you can only do this for 10 minutes. Because I spent years doing this. I spent years giving myself a pity party and thinking about all of the reasons why I was single, thinking about coming up with all kinds of crazy scenarios as to why I didn't have a boyfriend, what it meant about me, what it meant about my worth, and what it meant about myself personally. And I spent years doing that, and it just brought me down. It brought me down so much. I was so depressed. I was looking, like I said before, I was looking to relationships to fulfill a void, to make my life better, to somehow enhance my life, when I wasn't even happy with myself. So I did this for years. I was miserable. I was watching everyone in my life get married. And if this resonates with you, please just say yes. Please comment, let's have a conversation about it. If this resonates, just say yeah. I was watching everyone get married. I was watching my friends partner up. I was watching family members do the same thing. And, it brought me down because of all of the misconceptions and stereotypes that I had about myself, about why I wasn't in a relationship. So my pity party went on for years. So for you, I want you to have a pity party for yourself, but you have to only have it for about 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Desperation leads you to choose the wrong partner. Absolutely. I totally understand that. Because in desperation, we want anybody to be there, to be a body, to fill that void. So we're going to choose people that are not necessarily the best for us. And I just lost my train of thought. So we're going to choose people that are not the best for us. And it's not going to lead to a very good place. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be happy in that relationship. Maybe in the beginning, yes, but eventually those things that attracted that person to you and vice versa are all going to start to crumble. So first things first, have a pity party for yourself and write down all of the things that make you miserable about being single. Just get it all out. Let's not have any shame about it. It's normal to have these feelings. You're human. This is a generational thing. Don't forget, we are in the generation where the generation before us, that is what our parents did. That is what people did. They got married and they started families. So, of course, we are taught that we must do the same, that it creates a sense of security, that it makes your life better, that it is part of the American dream to have that family unit, to have that happiness and security and love and all of that. So we were brought up believing that that was the be all and end all, right? And now that it hasn't happened, it's like, oh my God, we were brought up to think this and it hasn't happened yet. So what is wrong, right? So give yourself that pity party. Just write down everything about being single that makes you miserable. Write about what it would be like to not be single, how you think not being single would make your life better. Just get it all out. Get it all out on paper. Cry, be angry, scream, whatever you need to do. But set the timer and do it for 10 minutes and be done with it. And make a commitment to yourself to be done in 10 minutes. And then that's it. You have left that behind because now you're going to start to create a different story. Okay? So that's your first step. The second step I want you to do before we dive into what's going to make you happy or what's going to allow more happiness into your life is I want you to write down and investigate all of the beliefs, misunderstandings, stereotypes, thoughts and feelings of what it means for you to be single. Okay? And what I mean by this is things that are like thoughts that come up into your mind when you think about like why you're single, that you're undateable, that you're unlovable, something's wrong with me. What else? What else comes up for you when you think about yourself being single? Like type it in the chat box. I want to hear from you. Don't be shy. I have kids. Okay, and no one wants you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Susan, that definitely is something that comes up. So write all of this down. You don't have to do it right now. Write all of these things down because once you have awareness of your perceptions and your thoughts and your feelings and all of these negative connotations about being single, once you have awareness around that, then it is when you can switch that perception and change your story. Okay? So Susan says that you're scared that all the good guys are taken. Yeah, absolutely. I hear you on that one. And sometimes I think that now, and I am still single. And sometimes I do think that all the good guys are taken. But these things are just perceptions and just beliefs that we have. They're really not based in any truth. Okay? So at any time, you have the power to change and shift that story that you're creating for yourself. Because you have the power to do that. You have the power to create a different story. So that's what you're going to do. All right. So you gave yourself a pity party. So that's over and done. You're not doing that anymore. You gave yourself permission to do that. The second thing is to write down all of the beliefs, misunderstandings, misconceptions, thoughts that you have on being single. And you came up with some really good ones. And then what I want you to do is to create a new story. Create a brand new story of what it means to be single. And make it come from a real, juicy, loving place. So like, it means freedom to be single. It means you are free to do whatever you want. It means that you can explore things about yourself that you would not have normally done if you were in a relationship. And I'll talk about that in a minute, how sometimes we get distracted by being in a relationship. you can also say things like, I am free to do all of the things that I've always dreamed of doing with a partner, but now I can do it by myself. And it's going to be even better because I need to learn about myself first before I can invite in a partner that's going to be right for me. So I have this huge amount of freedom. So whatever that means for you, whatever you want to do and create a different story, do it. Just write it out. Go crazy with it, like fantasize. Um, I'm blanking for the minute, but I can't think of anything else. But like, you can travel. If you have children, that might be a little bit difficult, but think about all of the ties that you would have if you were with somebody. You have to run things by them. You can't maybe spend money as freely, or, you just can't wake up in the morning and do nothing because your partner wants to do something, or they have these lists of things that they want you to do. Whatever the misconception is, or whatever the reason, go with it. Just go with it and just create something different. And once you create that different story, then you can start to live it, because you've already let go of all of the old limiting beliefs, and now you're inviting new ones in. Does this resonate? Is this making any sense? Because if I'm not clear, then let me know so I can be clear. Okay. So once you've done those two things, now you're in a place where you can start creating your own joy as a single woman. Okay. And thank you. It does. Okay. So now you're in a place where you can enjoy and start bringing in more happiness as a single woman. And one of the things that you could do, and I highly recommend, is to focus on your purpose. Okay. What does that mean? So my belief is that everybody was born onto this earth and they have a mission. They have a mission. They have some sort of purpose, some sort of gift that they need to share with the world. And whether that means being a mother, whether that means having a job as a school teacher, whether that means being an artist, whether that means starting a blog, sharing their own personal story, whatever that is to you, it's unique to you and only you. So use this time as a single woman to discover what that is. Because here's the thing. We're in a time right now where we need to be sharing our gifts with the world. We need to be showing up in a way that is going to inspire and heal the planet. Okay. And like I said before, our parents grew up in a totally different time. The time to get married and to have kids and start a family, yes, that's all important. And if you want that, then absolutely, that is great. And that's something that you should want. But if you are single, take this time. If you're single and you are dating and it's just not working out for you, or you keep hitting one roadblock after another, and it's really painful to date and really hard, then take a step back and say, what am I supposed to be doing here? What are the things that are in me that I'm supposed to be sharing? So really explore that. And Susan said, I'm learning to be happy with myself. Yes, and that's an ongoing journey. Absolutely. Ongoing. I mean, it's ever evolving. What makes you happy is ever evolving. But sometimes we get so caught up in trying desperately to find that relationship that we really forget to figure out what makes us happy and what makes us joyful and what makes us shine. Because if we don't know that and we get into relationships, then we're kind of dimmed. Our light is dimmed because we're so focused on what's going on in the relationship. We're focused on making it work. We're focusing on making that partner happy, that we forget about what makes us happy and what we have to share with the world. So it's an incredibly important time right now to discover what your purpose is, because we all know, I mean, I have a suspicion you know what it is, or you have a suspicion that you're meant for more. but you're not quite sure what it is, that is you, your heart, trying to figure out what your purpose is. And it's really nudging you along to do that. So once you do this, I have to tell you, it's such a game changer. Things shift so rapidly for you. Like when you go from this place of desperation and depression and loneliness, once you start focusing on a different path and focusing on what you're supposed to be doing on this earth, the joy that comes to you is immeasurable. It's it's miraculous. As soon as you make that decision to focus on what you want to do and what you think you should be doing. So do any of you, both of you, have any inkling or any nudges that are keep coming up for you that you're like, oh, I really think I should be doing this, but I don't know, I don't think that's for me. Does that resonate? You can type it in the chat box. So if that resonates with you, then listen to that. That is your heart telling you that it's time. It's time to focus on what you have to offer to the world. And that could be the gifts that you have to offer. I see so many women get distracted by the relationships that they're in, that their unique gifts and talents go untapped. And they have so much to offer the world. They have so much to offer other women that they get so caught up in the relationship that it goes dormant. And it doesn't mean that you don't have those anymore, but they go dormant and they're not tapped into. And sometimes it takes a little bit of tender, loving care to foster those things to come out. Like maybe it's meant for you to be an artist, but you need to practice at it. And if you're in a relationship, you're not doing that because you're so focused on that. So do you see where I'm going with this? So focusing on that part of yourself, that purpose, that drive that you have, or maybe you don't even know what it is yet. So using this time to figure that out, to really oh, what is it? And then taking the steps to go after it and do it. And that's what happened with me. I was, like I said, I was so lonely and depressed. I lost my mother at a very young age. I was 26 years old when I lost her. And it really devastated me to the point where my depression over my mother passing away so young, it just became ingrained in me. I became just so sad about everything, including not having a partner. And I so desperately wanted to get married and have children to get out of that fog and to get out of the sadness that I was experiencing from losing my mother. And those were totally all the wrong reasons to get into a relationship. And it got to the point that I was so sad, and I knew I was meant for something. I knew I was supposed to be doing something, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And it wasn't until I made the decision to figure it out that my whole outlook shifted. My depression lifted, my anxiety lifted. I started to invite opportunities into my life that weren't there before because I was on a path. Once you step onto that path, that's when all of the opportunities for you to be joyful, things that'll make you happy start coming your way. And some of the things that happened for me were my friendships blossomed. I was reconnecting with friends that I've lost touch with, and I really firmly believe that I had lost touch with them was because of my state of mind. I was in such a down state that it was blocking me from all of these wonderful things that I was meant for because I was so focused on what I didn't have. So really shifting yourself into that state of joy by finding your purpose, being grateful, living with gratitude really invites in more joy and more happiness. And it removes the block that you may have around yourself, because if you are depressed and in that state, it really can block off what you're meant to have. Okay, so focusing on your purpose. And the next one is, and this seems so simple, but we forget. We forget. Discover what you enjoy to do. And that, I mean, I know it seems really like obvious, but a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people tend to put those things to the side because they don't think they're deserving. They don't think they're worthy enough. But things that you enjoy to do, they're meant for you. Things that you want in life, they are meant for you. So making the choice to pay attention to those things and to foster those things is so important for your own sanity and for your own happiness. Focus on what makes you happy and do it. And don't be afraid to do these things by yourself. Initially, it could seem a little bit awkward and just, not what you want to do. But I'm telling you, once you start first recognizing what you like to do and then doing these things, whether you have a partner or a friend with you or not, it is miraculous, the things that you learn about yourself and the things that that you discover about who you are and what makes you happy. So really take advantage of this time being single to discover what makes you happy. What do you enjoy? What do you like to do? Do you like to paint? Do you like to cook? Do you like to sing? Do you have like some hidden talent of singing and you haven't explored that? Like those are things that are waiting to come out. And it's so important. I can't even stress enough. It's so important for you to discover those things because it's the only way, one of the only ways it's going to bring in more joy and happiness into your life. So I'm going to unmute you for a second. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that you want to talk about, just let me know. So give me 1 second. Okay. So Elmira or Susan, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay, sounds good. No problem. Have a good one. Okay, bye now.
Hello, is anybody there? Yeah, so I just unmuted both of you, and if you have any questions or any comments about anything, let me know. Don't be shy. Okay, I'm going to mute you. Okay. Okay, so discovering what you love and doing more of those things. The secret to getting into that joyful space or to bring more joy into your life is to be in joy now. So whatever you need to do to be in that state. Okay, Susan, thank you. To be in that state is absolutely important because for the law of attraction, that will bring in more circumstances that will give you joy. Okay, so the next thing is and tell me if this is not an area that you have to work on. I suspect it might be because for a lot of women that I have spoken to, they don't have a lot of female friendships. So tell me yes or no if this applies to you. And I think fostering female relationships in this time is incredibly important. We are at a time where women need more support than ever. We are all on our own personal growth journeys or, personal journeys for whatever's going on. And we need that support. And as women, we have been taught to not ask for help, that it's a sign of weakness. Oh, good. Okay, Susan, thank you for clarifying. Yes. So maybe you can speak to like the importance of, if you can, you don't have to, speak to the importance of fostering relationships. And yes, having sisters. I remember growing up, and I have a younger brother, but I always wanted sisters in my life. My parents only had two children, myself and my brother, and I would actually cry about it. And looking back now, I really think that was me longing for sisterhood and in friendships. And I can't even tell you, I have so many female friends I don't even know what to do with. And this only happened when I took the focus off of dating and put the focus on me and making myself, changing my beliefs, changing my thoughts. I started inviting in more friendships and my tribe, right? So the importance of finding your tribe is so valuable right now because it's important to have that support system in place. And I know that there's a lot of competition sometimes around women, amongst women, and women could be catty and not support each other and be jealous, and that's not serving anybody. It's not serving anybody. And really, if you have that perception of women, maybe it's something about yourself that you're covering up, or you don't know about yourself yet, because whatever we perceive in others is usually something about ourselves. So use this time as a single woman to really foster those relationships. And Susan says, I agree. I try to keep my friends few in numbers. Sometimes more than four is hard to manage. Yeah, absolutely. But in my opinion, you can't have too many, because the people that are meant to be in your life are there for a reason. And I'm finding that each friend, each person that's in your life, each sister that you have that bond with, fulfills some need in you, and is a reflection of something that either you need to heal or something that you're offering to them. It's such a beautiful thing when this starts to happen, and you start to find your tribe, and you start to find the people that resonate with you, the people that you can do things with, the people that share interests. And I only bring this up because I do speak to a lot of women who don't have those connections, who don't have those friendships, because they shut themselves off because of, again, negative connotations about what it means to be in female relationships, that it's, there's competition there's jealousy, all of that stuff. So kind of doing away with those beliefs, if you have them, and finding ways to foster sisterhood and your tribe and your soul tribe, because it's invaluable to have that. Any comments about that? And even if you have friends, sometimes you may have friends, but you don't lean on them. You don't ask for your support. And I think I started to say before, but I got sidetracked. As women growing up, we're taught to not ask for help. Oh, I did say that. That it's a sign of weakness. So that is over. That time is over. Like, I think asking for help is a sign of strength. It's a sign of recognizing that you need the help, and that you are willing to accept and willing to receive help from others. Sisterhood is great. Also, you need to have friends outside of your family so you can have different perspective on life. Absolutely. I mean, I know women who, they are so tight knit with their family, which is great, but they don't have any outside perspective. They don't have any outside tribe to connect with. And sometimes family, can get a little sticky. We don't get along all the time. We don't always see eye to eye with family. So always have that outside tribe that you can go to. And when things get tough in your family, or when your family is just not getting along, you don't have to be so codependent on your family. It's so wonderful to have that outside help. So one of the things you can do, and I remember talking with a client about this, is just be willing and open to meeting new people. That's really all you have to do. I mean, you don't have to like you could make a conscious effort to go and meet people, go do things, join a meetup group. But I remember one of my clients, as soon as she was open and willing and opened herself up to the possibility of meeting new female friends, they just started coming out of the woodwork. It was miraculous. I mean, every session that we had, she was like, oh, I met this person. Oh, I reconnected with this person from high school. I was like, whoa, like it was crazy. And she didn't have to do very much. She just had to be open and willing. So if this is an area of your life that you could use some support with, just let go of all of those perceptions and beliefs, negative beliefs that you have surrounding female friendships, and just be open and willing to see what's waiting for you. Because just like there's a partner waiting for you that's meant for you, there are female friends and your soul tribe that are also waiting for you. Okay, so I left the best for best, and I think most important for last. This is so important for your own sanity and for your own ability to attract in your partner that is meant for you, attract in your soul tribe, attract in any kind of abundance, anything that's good for you. You must work on your self-love and your self-worth. And trust me when I say that being single is the perfect time to work on this, because you don't have that distraction of a partner. You don't have, I don't know, competition with other people. You have that time by yourself to work on self-worth. And here's why. The only way you're going to attract, or one of the ways you're going to attract the partner that is truly a good fit for you, is when your self-worth is elevated, and when you remember that you are worthy, and you remember that you are worthy and deserving of the things that you want and the partnership that you want. Once you really truly believe and embody that, that is when you start to attract things that match that. So when you are in a place where your self-worth, your self-esteem is in the toilet, you can notice how you may start attracting people and situations and partners that are not a good fit for you. Partners that have their own issues that they're trying to work out through you in this relationship, and it just doesn't work. Because we often attract people and situations that bring up healing in us, right? So if you have a low self-esteem and a low sense of self-worth, you're going to start attracting people who are bringing that up in you, and that are allowing that to come up to be healed. But you can't heal those things with that person. You have to heal that stuff within you first, right? So using this as an opportunity to do that is so valuable. I cannot even imagine. So I'm going to share with you this book that I've been reading, and I absolutely love it. It's called Sacred Seduction by Kitty Cavalier. And it's just amazing. I'm not done with it yet, but it's really a testimony to really loving yourself in a deep way, in a way where you can honor yourself and let go of any shame, any guilt around certain subjects, around topics, just around being a woman, around expressing yourself in a certain way. She totally, it's a game changer. So I highly recommend that book if you don't know where to start. It's called Sacred Seduction by Kitty Cavalier. And she's actually based in Asheville, North Carolina, which is where I live. And if you don't know where to start with that subject, sorry. Yes. I don't know. Does it show it backward? It shows it backwards, I think. Sacred Seduction by Kitty Cavalier. I'll write it in the chat. and it's fun. It's a fun perspective on really learning to love yourself, and she really goes deep with it. And she really brings to light certain things like there's no shame in being angry. There's no shame in being jealous of certain people. Like, she tells you to put it all out on the table and get it out. Shine light on it. I'm going to write this in the chat. So yeah, that's a good place to start. And it's an ongoing journey. It's a work in progress. I am still working on that. And there's no shame or judgment on where you are in that path. It's all it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to embody this and to cultivate it and to foster it. Because here's the thing, we all have a little girl inside us that's just begging to be loved, begging for your attention, begging to be just loved and hugged and kissed, because a lot of us didn't get that when we were younger, and now it's manifesting in different ways. So using this time to pay attention to that little girl is really important, and that comes in the form of self-love. And once you recognize it and know that that's your birthright, because being worthy is your birthright. We were all born worthy, right? It's the truth. We were born worthy. There was nothing about us that said we weren't. But what happened is life circumstances happened. Our parents, things that have happened to us, circumstances, really crappy things that have lowered our sense of self-worth. And right now is a good time to start remembering the truth, remembering that we are worthy, remembering that we are deserving of all of these things. And once you get to that place where you firmly believe, and you're totally embodying that belief, that's when you're going to start to attract all of these wonderful circumstances that you deserve. So again, using this time, so I never understand self-love. I always want to see self-love in action. Oh, okay. So can you tell me a little bit more about, what do you mean wanting to see it in action? Oh, okay. This is how people love themselves. Yes. So yes, it's actually, yeah, you're right. Because it took me a while to really understand what it meant too. And it's really honoring yourself and doing and recognizing the things in yourself that are a part of you. And it's doing things that will lift you up as opposed to bringing yourself down. So one of the things she talks about in the book is negative self-talk, right? So all of the negative things that we think about ourselves, and how we beat ourselves up over certain things. Oh, you were taught you should always love others, not yourself. Yes, absolutely. We were always taught that it's selfish. It's selfish to love ourselves first, that everyone else has to come first before you. And then even if you do that, it means you're selfish and you're not deserving and you're spoiled and you shouldn't be doing those things. No more. That is totally different. So what we're doing right now is unwinding and reprogramming ourselves. We're unwinding all of those stories and reprogramming ourselves so we can create new stories about ourselves. We can recreate any story that we want. These are just stories that we grew up with and things that have happened to us that made us believe these things. No more. Absolutely not. No more. So using this time, being single, is so great to do this, because you start to learn so much about yourself. You start to learn what you like. You start to learn what you dislike, and you really own it. And you're unapologetic about it. You start owning everything about yourself and being proud of it and showing it off, it's amazing. It's amazing what starts to happen when you start to pay attention to that little girl and start paying attention to yourself, because the changes that occur are absolutely miraculous. So any questions or comments about self-love or what that means? Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm glad. I'm very happy. Positive affirmations help you a lot. Yes, the negative self-talk. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is huge with a lot of women, because here's the thing, like, I think as women, when we do the self-talk, it's the negative self-talk, it's almost like we're punishing ourselves, and we are also punishing ourselves to the point where we're going to do whatever that thing is we were supposed to do quicker, or it's going to make us act a certain way that we've been wanting to act, but it really doesn't do us any good to talk that way to ourselves, because we're just further abusing that little girl that's inside of us, and we're continuing the patterns that we were brought up with, right? So it's my mission as a coach and as a woman with my tribe and with the people that I serve in my community, it's my mission to say no more of that. No more. That doesn't apply. That is an old way of thinking. It's an old pattern that we as women have to break at this point. We have to say, that's it. We're not doing it anymore. And if not for us, then for future generations. Because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve the planet. It doesn't serve anybody around you. Because once you start rising and you start bringing yourself up, it gives other people permission to do the same. And what better thing than that, right? So I want to leave you tonight with some truths. The truth is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. The truth is, you are never alone. The truth is, you are worthy and lovable. And the truth is, your desires are meant for you specifically. And they deserve to be brought to the surface, and they deserve to be shown in this world. So that's what I leave you with. I leave you with that. And to just enjoy and have fun. Have fun. Like, just go all out and have fun. And if you don't know how to have fun, fake it. Fake it. If you're in my Facebook group, I have a Facebook group on Facebook. It's called Living from the Heart. And it is an incredible, supportive, high vibing tribe of supportive women that, if you go on there and you just type out something in the group, people will come to respond. So if you don't know how to have fun, come on into my group and just be there and experience the support. And I know some of the people in the group, they have connected with one another and have become friends. So that's a part of my mission, is to just bring community together, bring women together for support. Because like I said before, that's what we need. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, I mean, isn't that what we're all doing for the most part? I mean, just do it. Just do it. Because if we're in our head all the time and we talk ourselves out of things, then we'll never do anything. We'll never get to that place where we know that we want to be, right? So Does anybody have any questions? It was an absolute pleasure to be here to talk about this tonight with you, and I was so happy that we're able to interact. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, Elmira, what's your question? Do you want me to unmute you? Or do you want to type it in the chat box? Okay. Okay, your question is, sometimes I worry that because I'm so comfortable that I would not work at relationships. So you're so, okay, I get that. So your concern is that you're so comfortable being single that you kind of forgot how to be in a relationship. Yeah, and that you don't want to settle at all. And you shouldn't settle. You absolutely should not settle. I spent years settling when I would date. I would go out with men because they were nice and because I wanted to give them a chance. But I knew deep down that I didn't have an interest and that they weren't what I was looking for. And I was always accused of being picky because of that. So in my opinion, you should never settle. If you would just want to be in a relationship to fulfill that lonely void and to have that companionship, then by all means, yes, date somebody who's nice and yeah, be in that relationship. But if you want something more and you want romance and you want spark and you want chemistry and you want that real compatibility, that real deep love, then don't settle. Keep dating, keep looking for it. It's out there. It's out there for you. You just have to keep doing it and be patient. And like I said in the beginning, I am not against dating at all. I wish all of you to find the partner that you deserve. My whole point tonight is to be happy while you're single, because if you're miserable and depressed and in that desperate state, you're not going to attract anything that you want. So getting really clear on what you want and what makes you happy is really important, like I said. So using this time. Yes, getting burned out dating. I know. I understand that. Speed dating is fun. Yeah, getting burned out in dating, that is so common. So right now I'm in a point where I stopped dating. Like I moved here to Asheville about 10 months ago. About 4 months after I moved here, I started dating again and I had a lot of fun. But now I'm like, I'm over it now. I want to take a break again. So if you have to take a break and you get burned out, get burned out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when you just keep dating and dating and dating with no intention that it just feels empty. Thank you, Susan, very much. Thank you so much for joining. So I wanted to offer you, if any of this stuff resonates with you and you're feeling like you want to go deeper with any of it, I am offering for anybody on the call tonight and for those of you who are listening to the recording, a complimentary Path to Happiness call where we can really get clear on what your path is, what your purpose is, and where you're getting stuck. Like what area of your life are you stuck and how to get unstuck. So this is completely complimentary. It's a 50-minute call. If any of this resonated with you and you're feeling like, oh, I need to go a little bit deeper here, then I'm going to put the link in. I'll send you all the link to sign up for this call. I'm going to open up some spaces for this week and next week. So if this resonates with you, then I'll be happy to connect with you. I love connecting with my tribe. So this is a completely complimentary call. It's just to get you unstuck and get a little bit clarity on your life. So Elmira, thank you. Susan, thank you. Anybody else who is here, thank you so much. It was an honor to be here. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for showing up. It was a pleasure, and I will be in touch with you soon. Bye. Take care.